Hello. So I'm Sharon Weston. I'm one of the dietitians in the Empower program and Endocrine program. And today I am going to be cooking up 3 recipes. We're going to be making, first off, a buffalo chicken Smashburger taco. We're going to be serving that with a fire and ice watermelon salsa. And then we are going to be making these 4th of July banana yogurt dipped frozen popsicles. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first recipe, which is the buffalo chicken Smashburger tacos. And so what you will need for this recipe is either a griddle or a frying pan. Okay, we're going to be doing this on the stove. You're going to need about 1 pound of ground chicken or beef. You could do that. I'm using ground chicken breast here. And in the store, you will find that you can find ground chicken or you can find ground chicken breast. The ground chicken breast is a little leaner. It's just made from the meat from the breast of the chicken. Okay. And so we're going to need a big bowl and we're going to be mixing into that about 2 teaspoons of garlic powder and also 1 teaspoon of paprika. So I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic powder in there. I'm going to mix my paprika. And then we're going to stir that well together. You can also season it with a little salt and pepper. We'll do in 1 second. First, we want to mix our spices in well. So you can kind of mash it up. And then we are also going to have our toppings ready. So I have shredded lettuce here. I've got shredded carrots. Also, some sliced green onion or scallions. And that's all going to be used for our toppings. Optionally, you could also top this with shredded cheese. You could use guacamole or avocado or sour cream. And then we are going to be using some buffalo chicken sauce and also some white ranch, your preference. But those are just your toppings, and those are to be added in your own amount, what you prefer. Okay. We've got our spices mixed in here. I'm just going to add a little salt and pepper. Just a little ground salt, a little ground pepper. Okay. Again, we're going to mix that in. And while we're doing that, we're going to get our griddle ready. So I'm going to turn this on pretty high heat. Medium high, I would say. Okay. And we're going to lightly oil it. Just going to use a paper towel to spread that around. Yeah. And I have here Mission Zero net carb tacos or tortillas. That's what I'm going to be using. You could use corn tortillas. That would be also great. And you can use just smaller ones are going to work better for this recipe. Okay. And so what we're going to be doing is smashing the meat onto the tortillas. Then we're going to cook them on the griddle. Okay. So I'm just mixing in my salt and pepper. Now this is going to make 8 small tacos. Okay. So we're going to get a plate. Or 2 will be 4 at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and take my tortilla out. And I'm just going to take about a spoonful of the chicken. And what you want to do is kind of smash it on. You want to spread it so that it covers thinly the whole taco or tortilla. Okay. So just like that. All right. And we'll do 4 of these. And you do want to have the surface of your griddle pretty hot when you put this down so that it sears that meat. Okay. Spread these all on. Okay, and now I'm going to just go ahead and Pop them face down onto either your frying pan or your griddle. And then I'm just going to get the next 4 ready to go. Bringing this nice, spread it nice and thin. And that works out just perfectly for the 1 pound of either the ground chicken breast, ground chicken, or even ground beef. Perfect. This is also a nice recipe that is a little flexible. So if you have somebody that doesn't like certain toppings, they can kind of be in charge of doing their own thing. All right, so while that is cooking, these are going to probably cook about 3 minutes, and then we're going to flip them, okay? But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get our other parts of this meal ready. So we're going to move on to our fire and ice watermelon salsa. And so that is, let's see, here. Okay, so we are going to need 3 cups of diced watermelon, seedless diced watermelon. Okay, a big bowl. I'm gonna dump that in. And then with that, we're going to be adding about a half a cup of green diced peppers. Dump that in. Okay. And then we're also going to add a little lime juice. So I have a fresh lime here, and I'm just going to cut it in half. And you just kind of squeeze it over the watermelon. Okay. You only need about 2 tablespoons. So you can squeeze that whole lime. And one other trick is to take the lime and you can kind of take your knife and stab it a little. And that makes the juice come out a little easier. You don't have a juicer. Okay. And so that's all mixed in. All right. And then we'll give our green peppers and watermelon and lime juice a little stir. Then we are also going to be mixing in about 2 tablespoons of chopped cilantro and about a tablespoon of chopped green onion or scallion. With a really delicious Mexican type flavor, Mexican dish. Okay. Lastly, we're going to add about a tablespoon of chopped jalapeno pepper. You have to be careful with this. If you touch this, don't touch your eyes. You wash your hands or you use gloves. Stir it again. We're also going to add a little garlic salt, about a teaspoon. That a stir. That is our watermelon salsa. Super easy. Okay. Back to our tacos now. Going to just mix them. Little. I'm going to flip them over. That chicken is really well cooked. We're just kind of browning the other side of the taco here. Okay, and that's going to cook for another 2 minutes or so. We just want the other side to get a little crispy. Okay. And then we're going to move on to our next recipe, which is our banana popsicles. So I have here my toppings for our tacos all ready to go. I've got the shredded lettuce, carrots, our watermelon salsa is ready. And what we're going to need for the popsicle recipe is either some popsicle sticks or I'm using these sticks that go with a plastic popsicle set. All right. And so we're going to be using some bananas. All right. So I have here 2 large bananas that actually, they were so big, I cut them in thirds. All right. But you can either cut them in half or thirds, depending on how big they are. And then we're also going to need about a cup of Greek vanilla yogurt. And just going to make space here. Okay. And then we're also going to need, because it's the 4th of July, some sprinkles. All right. And so we're going to get that ready to go. Again, I'm just going to check on the tacos one more time. See how those are looking. They're starting to seem like they're ready. Oh, yeah. So I'm just going to turn off the heat. If they don't seem brown enough on one side, you can just flip them over again. That works fine. Okay. So, all right. So back to our banana popsicles. First, you're going to either use your popsicle stick or your mold stick, and you're just going to stick your banana onto the stick. If you have an angled cut side, try to use the flat side as the base. Okay. And then basically all we're going to be doing is dipping this in the yogurt and then rolling it in the sprinkles and putting it back on the plate. Okay. And I'm just doing the sprinkles about halfway up. And the yogurt, maybe a little further. You can also just, let's see. Oops. You have to use your fingers. And you can see how these are starting to look, right? And then these are just going to go in the freezer for about 2 hours, and then we're going to take them out. So they're like a banana dipped, yogurt dipped popsicle with a red, white, and blue lid. Okay. We'll just stick those into the freezer. So those look really fun and yummy for 4th of July. All right. We're going to put the meal together now. So we've got our popsicles that will be frozen, right? And I'm just going to take one of these tacos out, flip that. And then you can just add all of your toppings on. So you can add your shredded carrots, your shredded lettuce. You can top it with some green onion. And you can also then add your buffalo chicken sauce and or hot sauce and your ranch dressing. And then you can fold it up and it's really delicious. So 2 or even 3 of those, depending on your age and how hungry you are, would be a really healthy, balanced, easy, fast dinner. Hope you enjoy.